but they've 100% been able to pick up that lacking slack and been able to expedite just an amazing team overall. San Diego, we've gotten to see them come on the pitch on and off this entire season and watch them grow between each and every game. I've loved getting to see the way that their team works on the defensive and offensive side, really putting that pressure on Claremont. So I feel like it could go 50-50.
50-50 is right, and you have to give credit to teams like Claremont who have really grown as a rugby school in the past couple of years. San Diego State historically have been strong. They reached a national championship semi-final about 10 years ago. It's been challenging for them since then. It's hard to bring kids into the school who want to play rugby. They're working hard to recruit on campus. And you yourself, being a university student, how hard is it for these players to try get players from different sports into rugby on campus?
You know, it is pretty difficult to get players into this just amazing sport. I enjoy it so much. I love getting to see the way that athletes have brought in different parts of, like, baseball players coming in bringing a different aspect to the rugby pitch, football players bringing in a different aspect to the rugby pitch. It has been amazing getting to see that. For me personally, I think that rugby has such a room for growth. I mean, we talk back to San Diego. Their women's program has grown exponentially in the past couple of years. They started off only been able to get maybe 20 girls on the team. They now have an ability to fill 2 full sides of the team with over 60 women coming and trying out for the team. I mean, getting to watch that women's program grow, even from me in Texas, has been so inspiring for women's rugby in general. For the men's rugby, I feel like it's grown out here. I mean, a couple of years ago, we started the West Coast Sevens with just having collegiate athletes of men. Now it has now spread to high school students, to women's college, and I'm excited to see where it goes continuing on. But needless to say, I think that the inclusion of other sports within rugby is only strengthening it from within.
That's fantastic. And from Texas to San Diego, we are here live in San Diego at the West Coast Sevens. You can see on your screen there some students from Cathedral Catholic and USD. The West Coast Sevens is sponsored by Axos Bank, and we're here with TVX Sports Video. TVX has been bringing coverage of sports in San Diego and around the country for nearly 20 years, and they are committed to bringing you the best live, local and emerging sports. Smash the like button and hit subscribe to show your support for our official broadcast partner, TVX Sports Video. And of course, huge thank you to our sponsors, Falcon West. Off the field, you're still a winner. The Falcon West Academy helps build athletes' careers. Learn more at falconwest.com/academy. Rugby players getting ready for your next career move? Check out the Falcon West Academy, built just for you, with Group 4 launching in October. A lovely little look at grey skies here in San Diego in the morning as that flag blows. But as we saw yesterday, by the time we get to midday, that sun starts to come out. It becomes really challenging for some of these players. Isabella, you probably know yourself, playing in Texas in some hot weather. You saw the sun break through yesterday. It's going to be a harder on day 2 for the boys, isn't it?
I feel like it is. I mean, we're covering over from the strain of yesterday. Every team played their absolute best, trying to get into the brackets today. And I know that they're going to come out there with sore muscles, a little aching bones. We had a couple injuries, but, praise everyone that we were able to get those handled and put away very nicely. The guys are definitely going to come out here feeling a little bit stiff this morning, but I'm excited to see how they kind of loosen, warming up their muscles as we see them warming up here on the pitch right before our first game coming up. But what are you looking forward to seeing today? I mean, we've gotten to see them over the past couple of tournaments. Who do you think is really going to shine?
I actually really love to see teams that are sticking to their plan, and you can see that in the warm-up right now. We're looking around at some of the teams, Cal, USD, San Diego State, and they all have their own style of warm-up. Cal seem very organised. They're nearly robotic, but in a way that feels just right for them. Everything is so structured. Look at the USD boys over there. Everything's a little bit more free-flowing. They're a little bit more open, and they really dial things up towards the end. And we just see on screen there, Long Beach State, a program which is growing so much in the last few years. And from being such a small school, they have really challenged teams yesterday and in the last few weeks at the West Coast Sevens. You can see a couple of our USD players on the screen there getting the hip flexor stretch in, and if you see the way that they played yesterday, they're contesting the breakdown, They're nearly violent in that contact area. And you can see Coach Charlie Purden, a former professional player here in San Diego, he has them just an element of calmness with them there as they get their stretches, and he knows that once they hit the pitch they're going to ramp it up and bring that aggression to the first game. And Isabella, we can see our two teams for the first game, San Diego State and Claremont. Claremont yesterday, as we said, big win versus Mira Costa, 33-10. And on the other side, San Diego State, as we wait for them, they have a tough first pool with Cal and Long Beach State suffering big losses. But as we said before, they'll be coming in looking for a little bit of revenge today. And as we see the San Diego State boys, they're being led over by Coach Nick Lupian. He's a former winner of the National Sevens Club Championship, so he knows his stuff and he'll be looking to give a little bit of guidance. I'm joined here in the booth now with former USA 15s international Will Hooley. Will, our first game of the day, San Diego State and Claremont. You've seen them play quite a lot over the past few weeks. What do you make of both of these teams?
Well, Ian, first and foremost, great to be here in the booth. I almost feel bad I've kicked out Isabella. Maybe some people would rather her dulcet tones than mine. But look, SDSU had a bit of a difficult time yesterday. There was a game that we looked to when they took on, I think it was Long Beach, and really struggled in that game. I looked over at Scott Bracken, their head coach, sort of director of the program there, and I could see on his face how disappointed he was. But look, it's a fresh day, it's a fresh start. Absolutely love the jerseys that SDSU Aztecs have. And as for this Claremont side, again, just a bit hit and miss, and they've got some real quality players in their team, which I've been impressed with. The likes of someone out wide like Fred Zung, I want to get the ball into his hands, number 4 for Claremont. So I think Claremont are probably going to be the favourites for this one. But at the same time, Ian, you never know with sevens.
Yeah, certainly. And along with our man Fred Zeng, I'm going to highlight a couple of players that have been playing pretty well on both sides. Our man Tanner Holland, number 9 for Claremont, gets his hands on the ball so frequently. He looks to try and make things happen all the time. And on SDSU, a leader in number 5 with Ronan Green, real stalwart for them. I was lucky enough to commentate a game last year where he played at 10, played at 12. He had even had a couple of minutes at 9 in a 15s game, and really he's a bag of tricks and he's a great leader. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today as our man in the pink jersey makes his way to the middle of the pitch and the boys get on. Look at that enthusiasm. I love it. Game number 1. Here we go. Claremont in the navy and white and San Diego State in the black and red traditional Aztec pattern. Love it, Will. They're these jerseys, aren't they?
Aren't they just great? I mean, I feel like there should be at least some form of reward or award at the end of this competition for the best jersey. I think Aztecs really are up there. And no, it's great to see here another day 2 and the final leg of West Coast 7s. And can't believe it's all coming to a close. The cloud is out, but I don't think these players will be complaining about that after yesterday's big effort. They want to conserve their energy as best as possible before kick-off. So here we go. SDSU versus Claremont. See who gets out the traps early.
And that is our man Tanner Holland going to restart. The number 9 on his back, the pink boots. He's got a little bit of flair and he's got a fantastic restart as well. They challenged for a few yesterday. So let's see. First touches of the day to Tanner Holland and restart to come. Referee blows the whistle and we are underway. Switches the play and looks to put up a high one, and that is a lovely little touch on that. Will it go 10? It didn't, but San Diego State have played it anyway, and a great take and a nice aggressive clean puts San Diego State into a little bit of space already. Step on the outside brings us right near the touchline, and San Diego State have a lot of width now. They're going to try to get it through a couple of passes. Couple of missed tackles in midfield, and San Diego State have found their way into the Claremont half. There's Ronan Green now, the man we said can make things happen. A little bit of lack of timing with the pass, but that's fine. They've regathered and they go again. Good composure from San Diego State right now as we're up into phase number 5. Still in their own half with Claremont playing no one in the sweeper role, so there's bodies up front. Will Hooley, we talked about that a lot yesterday, but he doesn't need the space in behind for the moment because he's got it wide to our man Alistair Eldridge. Lovely step and gets the offload away. A fend, and that's Christian Farias with the try. Fantastic start for San Diego State.
First try of this game. on the Sunday, and what a lovely bit of passage of play from Aztecs. Moved it onto this near side touchline and just stayed in bounds in the last offload. And that's the thing we've been seeing, is the offloading ability of these teams. The team that has the benefit in that ultimately is looking like the ones that end up scoring the tries, moving the ball around. Unfortunately, the conversion just goes wide. But just really impressive, just their ball control, and that final offload at the end, coming to this near side, finding that 2-on-1, always looking for a mismatch. That's what you're trying to get in sevens with the amount of space on the field. That would have been a high tackle anyway, so question whether it would have come back for the penalty, but regardless, excellent offload, excellent try for the Aztecs.
Great play from Alistair Eldridge and great support work from Christian Farias. And just as we say that, Ronan Green, he's missed his conversion and he's had a little bit of a glitch on the restart as well, so it is going to be Tanner Holland again to restart proceedings, and let's see if Claremont can do a little bit better now as we restart the game. Holland throws a big wide one, and again the dummy's gone and the big man carries. That's number 7, Jack Farber. We got a couple of tries on a score sheet yesterday. Tanner gets his hands on the ball again, and we go wide, stretch the whole pitch, but good launch from San Diego State. They're trying to take away that space in D, and that's fantastic work of connecting and getting up off the line, isn't it, Will?
Excellent from SDSU, and you're absolutely right, Ian. Just the way that they got off the line, they were connected. I could see Claremont just moving the ball, trying to get it to Zhang on the wing. Fred Zhang, he's got a lot of pace, but it was very lateral. There was no real forward movement, and in the end, Aztecs just shepherded that ball out into touch.
First line out of the day, and they just pop up the middle man nice and easy. It's a little scrappy, but they retain possession, and Ronan Green throws a nice one to the edge. And again, the foot goes down. This man looks like he has a bit of toe, doesn't he? That's number 7, Jeremy Stewart. Oh, what a hit there. He looked like he nearly had the pace to go around him on the outside, but great tracking from the Claremont defender, and ultimately slowed down, tried to get one over the top, and he's put into touch.
Outstanding from Fred Zhang. I talked about how quality he is on the ball in attack, but the ability in defence, just shadowing that Aztec winger, just making sure that he didn't give him an easy opportunity to step back on his inside. He actually shadowed him all the way towards the try line, and then made the impact tackle, which got the turnover. Just watch this. Never allows him to step back inside, keeps himself on his feet, and that's a try-saving tackle.
And as we've watched that replay, Tanner Holland has just taken a big nudge to bring us all the way down the other end of the pitch. He says, no messing around in our 22. I'm putting boot to ball, and we're going to win the territory battle. Nice decision there. Nice carrying the edge, and the offload could be there, and that's Ronan Green, the man we talked about. He's usually the ones enabling other people, but this time he looks like he's going to get a score of him for his own. Look at that. You know what? You know what was in his mind? He missed the last conversion. He says, I'm going to make this a little easier for myself. I'm going to get under the 6.
Good for him, and good try. It comes from another offload, isn't it? It was the first try from the Aztecs, was from a lovely offload back inside, and this one is just class. The way that they're bringing in 2 defenders and then getting it to the outside man. We're just having a quick look here on the conversion just to see if he can make it a 7-point score.
Now, Will, after watching that one, I know I had said fantastic decision to put the boot to ball and win the territory, but with kick there has to be a chase, right?
There does have to be the I didn't mind it, Ian. We do talk about the fact there is space in behind, put the pressure on, but just watch this, the sucking in of 2 defenders. You think for Claremont they just want to try and get it. There is 2 defenders there, you've got to wrap up the ball, but they don't do that, allowing therefore SDSU to get the offload away. That's where the try comes from. To
be fair, watching that replay, Jake Allizer carries through contact and get the offload away, and Claremont find themselves on their own 5 metre again as Ronan Green has a lovely restart all the way down to the corner. They're in their own try zone now, but can they go the distance 100 metres from that? This guy's got a little bit of pace, I'll tell you that. That's our number 4, that's Freddie Zhang, our man who had the try. He had a try saver a minute ago, now he's brought us up to the halfway line. And Claremont aren't going to delay things this time. They're going to play. I'll tell you what. Number 7, Jack Farber. He can carry. He beats 1. He beats 2. That's a 3rd now. Can they bring him down? He splits the pitch. Tries to find an offload, and that one doesn't go to hand. They're sticking for San Diego State at the moment, but not Claremont. And Ronan Green again looks to play it as territory has completely switched, but so has possession as San Diego State are deep in their own try line. But they win the penalty. That's a lovely... I tell you what, Will, I probably would have slowed it down there myself. I can feel tired just looking at this last period of play.
They're going and they're going to back themselves as well, SDSU, so clearly wanting to still have pace in this game.
Well, listen, that's why I'm not out there, right? I said I'd slow it down, but I wouldn't be in the try line. There we go. That's a fantastic counter-attack try from San Diego State, isn't it?
And you know what? Sometimes in sevens, it's about backing your fitness over your opposition. Just making sure that if you think that you're gassed out, why not take it to them again? Try and beat them in that area. But for me, Ian, once again, it's the offloading ability. And for me, that whole passage of play really summed it up. This is a fantastic offload by the Aztecs to get this away for this third score. But actually, you look on the flip side of things for Claremont, fantastic run. I think it was Jack Farber who made a fantastic run, but his offload didn't go to hand. It wasn't controlled. That's where the turnover happened. That is when the Aztecs got the ball back. That's how they then scored. Yeah,
you can really see the contrast of carries in between those offloads that are going to hand. We saw Farber trying to parry it away a little bit, but all of the San Diego State offloads have been through contact. They're driving the legs, making it a little bit easier for that support player. As we get a decent look here at Ronan Green making his way back over to San Diego State. Nick Lupien, the coach, as we said before, former Sevens national championship winner with the Bulldogs. And Isabella, you're back here in the booth with me. What do you reckon? San Diego State are really putting on a show here as they take their 3 breaths.
They are putting on a show. They're doing a great job right here on the pitch. I mean, San Diego is having an amazing job pulling in Claremont's defense. They're able to track them in all the way to the center, leaving a player on the outside, being able to quickly, like Will said, offload it, and they're sprinting straight up into it. There was a couple plays there where Claremont, you could just see the little bit of anxiety that's coming to them, the frazzlement, making those passages of play all the way up to the front and then drawing themselves back in to the main defense of San Diego. And San Diego is not letting down on their defensive side at all. I would say, honestly, you know, if you're talking to their team right now on Claremont's side, it's more get it to the wings, look for that open gap, look for that ability to use the spatial awareness of the field and try to get around San Diego that way, because their defensive line is not breaking.
Yeah, it's not sticking right now for Claremont, but we did see players like Kanoa Parker, we saw Freddie Zhang, Big Will Graff, all these lads making line breaks, scoring tries yesterday. The offloads are sticking, and it's just not happening right now for the Claremont boys. So what's being said here at half-time, Isabella, to try swing things around, try and improve that?
You know, I think it's just that shifting of their defensive side. The second that San Diego does get possession of the ball, you brought up number 4, Fred Zhang on Claremont's side. He's doing a lot of the running right now on the wings. The second anyone on San Diego's side gets possession of it. So I think having him have that second person in assist, able to lock down on their defensive side, Claremont specifically, and have 2 defenders on 1 offensive player will be a lot more helpful in this upcoming second half.
Good atmosphere amongst the San Diego State boys there as we look into the huddle. Lots of vigour in the chat. They took 3 breaths to start off. That's the start that they want. They really felt like things didn't stick yesterday for them in the big games. They also suffered a big defeat to Cal, 44-7 on home soil. I'm sure they were disappointed, but this is the start that they want, and they'll probably feel like things are back on track now, Will.
Yeah, and actually, just when Isabella was speaking, I was listening to Ryan Marius, who, of course, is one of the coaches involved with the Aztecs, came over to the huddle. And the big thing he said is keep control of the ball. And I think that was excellent by Aztecs in the first half. I talked about their ability in their contact area to get the offloads. Well, actually, that's been the difference. That's where they've got their 3 tries from. So they're going to want to make sure they continue to have that control as the second half goes on.
Ronan Green gets us underway, puts a long one all the way down to the 5 metre, and that's Tanner Holland who receives. So just as we said that our playmaker was going to be on the deck, it's a penalty for a high shot. And Claremont's still looking to get those offloads away, and they did this time. There's a big man, Will Graff. Saw score a wonder try yesterday where he went through a couple of players, didn't he?
He's a big lad. He's a big lad who you want to have a bit of space and get him backing himself, beating on a one-on-one. But just the support line from Claremont there, when you think he's going to probably make that first initial break, you've got to get around him and be close to him. And that's where they ended up nearly getting turned over. It was knocked forward by the SDSU player. I'm just wondering whether now there's a bit of an injury going on. Hopefully he's okay. That's the number 5.
That's unfortunately Ronan Green down there, who's...
They need him on the field, for sure.
They do. He's the playmaker, he's the boss, but looks like he's off for the remainder of the game, and we're going to scrum this one down. The ball's going to go to Claremont. They had penalty advantage there, but the loss in contact, and Claremont are going to have to put in. They want to get in the score sheet early, don't they, Will?
Need something now from this set piece.
Ball goes to Holland. One more to Farber. And that's our number 1, Kevin Winchell. The little loop around from Tanner Holland, but he's scragged in the middle of the field. And San Diego State looked to upset the breakdown, but great clear out from Winchell. Again, San Diego State looking very aggressive around the contact area, and even you can see how condensed they were in deep, but they're still putting numbers, or not even numbers, they're just putting one aggressive man at the breakdown there every time.
No, Ian, you were right first time. They're coming not just in ones but in twos as well, and actually everything's just happening quicker for SDSU. Meanwhile for Claremont, a little bit sluggish to once again get near their support runner. If he's not making a line break or anything like that, then you've got to be there, making sure you're there for the clean out, or it might be the offload. As for SDSU coming together, it's certainly just a little bit more of a togetherness ultimately in their whole performance so far, SDSU. But Claremont look to try and get their defence ready now as the Aztecs attack.
That is, this Peter Flores is on the pitch now and gives the ball to the middle of the pitch to Aidan Fleming, who passes it on but dumped on the edge, and we still got the pitch split. But here's Fleming now. Tries to go around the fast man, and I tell you what, fair play, this man's got to have a little bit of speed to get around Jack Farber. That's a fantastic finish. Fair play to Fleming.
A fantastic finish, as unfortunately looks like we've got another man down on the floor, potentially with an injury, and I don't know how serious that might be, but he does get up, Fleming, and exit the field. But what a bit of show of gas on that outside, Ian. Again, there's the difference. Coming in pods, they were together, quick ball away from the breakdown. That then gives that bit of platform to get round the outside and be on the front foot when you have quick ball coming from your breakdowns, which is something that the Aztecs have had so far throughout this game. It's another try. I hope Fleming is okay. As a try scorer, he should be very happy with his work.
It's day 2 here at the West Coast Sevens, and game 4 for a lot of these players. It's tough on the body, isn't it, Will?
Oh, it is. I don't know what their recovery was last night. I hope maybe they got themselves into the Pacific Ocean just to get a kind of ice bath. Something that just gives them a little bit of freshness. And so far, Aztecs are showing a new energy as Claremont passed that one into touch. It's going sort of from bad to worse. Yes, SDSU have really brought a bright start to their morning. Yeah, they are, and they've been very pragmatic from these restarts as well. They've noticed that Claremont are losing a lot of balls, so they're just going long. They're trying to put all the pressure on them and really just rely on their D, aren't they? And you know what? I respect that a lot, because we've seen some fantastic restarts throughout this tournament, and restarts being a real key element as a set piece to winning the ball back. But actually, maybe go to your strengths, go to your strategy. If you have the lead, then just put the pressure on the opposition. Exactly what SDSU do. And now, from that pressure, they get the ball back here in the scrum. We're bringing it back up there. The ref is not happy with that picture at the scrum. So we're going to reset again. A few big boys there in the Claremont pack. Will they decide to have a little push? I probably would at this stage. 22 zip. And fair, they do. They managed to push. They managed to upset it. That's a great piece of work by Claremont. Ball is scrappy, but good calmness as they still get the ball out to Flores. And there's some tired bodies now, because Austin Wing gets himself in for a try. But you know what? I haven't seen the Claremont boys rounded like that for the whole day yesterday. They're a little bit tired. They're a little bit probably feeling a little bit defeated now at this stage. Yeah, it's a shame, because actually tactically from Claremont, I didn't mind what they did in defence there. I think it's Kevin Winchell who comes up hard, but he needs to make that tackle. If you're coming up aggressive as a last man, you need to make that tackle on the outside. Unfortunately, missing it in the end was just detrimental. We take a look here. Aztecs don't do anything too fancy. In fact, they just move to the outside. There you go. Winchell comes up. That's the number 1 for Claremont. And if he makes that tackle, that's a successful, pretty much probably a turnover scenario. In the end, he doesn't. That just allows an easy run-in for SDSU. Yeah, Jack Farber was put on a little bit of an island there, so he can count himself unlucky, but also got to give
got to give a great shout out to the Claremont lads in the pack who had a push over in the scrum, and they said this is probably our opportunity to get a turnover in the 22. And as we said that now, they've managed to get the ball off a penalty as they look to pop down the short side here, but they're met very well by this stout San Diego State defence, and San Diego State really got their tails up now. They feel like everything's flowing for them, and they're still looking very aggressive in D. And as I said that, they win that turnover. That's Martin Spears, who's going to get himself a score. Great work on D by San Diego State.
Foot on the throat kind of stuff by the Aztecs. It's been a game fully in control for them. But, you know, look, credit to both these sides. There's plenty of players out there with not lots of rugby experience. And what I find really interesting is just the understanding of what to do and when. And there was a bunch of offloads and quick passes from Clermont. They just needed to get some space, get their depth going to really try and reset their attack. And unfortunately, it was a bit panicked. That's where the turnover happened. That's where the drop ball came from. And in the end, it landed perfectly into the hands of SDSU. There's the sort of scrappy play. Everyone's just too bunched. It's a lot of learning for these players, many of whom probably haven't had lots of rugby experience. As for SDSU, though, they've had a fun morning to start things off.
Yeah, they definitely have, as they decided to have a little bit of fun with the last restart. They've gone high and they've managed to regather, and they want all the boys to get themselves on a score sheet. That's Woolery with the big carry right up the middle. And a fantastic offload. And Peter Flores, who came onto the pitch and he's bossed things very well. He deserves that try.
He deserves that try. I'm just hoping that the Clermont defender's okay. He definitely took a head knock, so I'm sure we'll get someone on the field removing him from play to just check on him. But if it's not pace, it's power. Full credit to Aztecs. It's been a complete performance. Credit to them and getting a great start here. Day 2, the final day on Oceanside of West Coast Sevens.
And just as we take a look on the pitch there, the San Diego State players, they look happy, they look ready for our next game. Claremont and their coach Ray Egan feeling a little bit disappointed after that one. But Isabella, you're here in the booth with me. San Diego State, they really are they have great tradition in rugby here in the States. You can see we mentioned coach Nick Lupien there. He's a National Club Sevens Championship winner. Former alumni include Alex Ross, who played for the USA Sevens, Calais Conrad, who was a 4-time collegiate All-American. They've had previously some real superstars at San Diego State, and that's something that they want to really get back to again, isn't it?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, they played a smooth, clean game of rugby the entire way through. We mentioned offloads, we mentioned their defensive side, their offensive side. They really knew how to sprint on the ball any chance they got. They always played with an open mind. There was not moments where they were super overstressed and anxious and didn't know what to do. They were always spotting who can assist me. Whenever was needed, when they needed to recycle players, they were there. They were supported. They just absolutely left it all out on the field, and I was very impressed by San Diego's performance today, and I completely agree with you. I think that we are going to see some superstars coming out of this team in the next couple of years.
That would be fantastic. We mentioned Calais Conrad, we mentioned Alex Ross, and of course football convert Stephen Thomasine, who played for San Diego State as a 19-year-old and is now the USA Sevens captain. And if there's another team who might have a little bit of a superstar, it's the team who's on the pitch right now, Long Beach State, and Ethan Moxley, who's also got a little international experience. He's number 13. They're looking to get the W against Miracosta, having their little team chat beforehand. But Long Beach State look ready. Will, you got to see both of these teams yesterday, and I'll tell you what, Long Beach State have a few ballers, don't they?
They do, and they'll probably be slightly disappointed that in the end they finished off yesterday with a very hard and maybe harsh defeat by Cal. They got literally the floor wiped underneath them because Cal were just on fire, and they find themselves therefore not in the top 4. Miracosta, though, really impressive win yesterday against GCU to start things off. So do they begin their morning today in the same fashion they did yesterday?
Yes, Narisma there at number 10 with the restart. And if there's one thing you could say about this Long Beach State team, they love to play the ball. They love having the ball in their hands. They love attacking. At times, you see them on D. Maybe the work rate's not there or the connectivity's not there, but when these lads have the ball in their hand, they can really move it, and they can step and they can score. Offload on the edge. Stays in play as our player gets bundled into touch, and without a ruck, we recycle again. And that's Narisma, the guy who restarted the game, steps inside, shows a little bit of a dummy and goes through to the 5 metre line. He's not held, so he gets back on his feet. And we're not close to getting our first score of the game here, as it goes to our man Moxley, who we mentioned at the start. And if you have a look at that, he's gone around with ease and got himself a score.
Little hitch kick, and away he goes. Really good first try. He's definitely a man to keep an eye on, of course, in this game. As is number 10, Victor Gomez, by the way. Was impressed by him, the number 10 for Long Beach State. But it was all a little bit too easy. You just think, if I'm Mira Costa, just maybe come a little bit together a little bit more. If you're going to allow anything on Long Beach, they're going to have to score on the outside. Don't allow these big gaps in the midfield, because someone like Moxley is just going to beat you for dead, or leave you for dead, I should say, and score like he did there.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. As you watch Long Beach State play, everything seems nearly a little bit reserved and calm, which might seem counterintuitive. You seem like you want to go full go all the time, but Sevens is about conserving that energy a little bit. If you can score a try at 30% with a little jog in, let's do that.
It also looks like a bit of flair as well. I mean, the highlight reel looks awesome, as so does that restart there from Gomez.
That is one of the better restarts of the day I've seen, as it gets tapped back by the big man and Moxley regathers. That was number 5, E.K. McCauley with the tap back. Great work from him. And it looks like it's a yellow, and they're going to be down. Miracosta are also going to be down a player here again. So after conceding 1 and now a yellow card, not the best start for the Miracosta boys.
Not ideal, yeah. Just when you're up against it, now going down to 6 men. And interesting tactic this from Long Beach. Clearly, maybe they've got something up their sleeve, attacking from a scrum. But that was a 2-on-1 situation created really well from Long Beach, and it was just the slap down. You watch here from the Miracosta defender, he's the last one, he just gets his hand on that ball, and that is where the penalty comes from. That's where, unfortunately for him, it's a definite yellow card as well. So Miracosta down to 6 players. Long Beach definitely will want to take advantage.
And I apologise to all those listeners, friends with the team. That is Victor Gomez at 10 and Josiah Pua at 9 here. There's a step off the left and there's one off the right too, and that's Jackson Cantelme with the try. Apologies, Victor Gomez, who started proceedings with the kick and had a fantastic restart there, and he was also the one who wisely called for the scrum when they were down to 6 men, condensing all those players yet again. And it's very hard to defend that, isn't it?
It is very hard to defend, and just a lovely little bit of shimmy, juking inside and outside. Nothing too fancy. Good offload away there, that last pass, and then inside outside. Look at that right foot step from Long Beach. Tough now for Miracosta. They've got a long time still left in this game to maybe fight back, but just a reminder though, Ian, as well for Miracosta, like, credit to them, they came into this competition late, they were asked to join quite late, and as I say, they had their moment. That win yesterday against GCU was out of nowhere. Just wonder now whether things might be getting a bit too difficult as they try a new tactic. Yeah, fair play to the boys coming in late to this tournament, but they're going to learn from it anyway. As Victor Gomez restarts again, he's switched it up and gone to the right hand side. Miracosta still down to 6, which is going to be very tough to defend. And that's again Cantelme with the try. He's got himself a double bubble in within 60 seconds. Gomez steadies himself. He'll take all the time in the world here. They're 17-0 up. Can he tap one over from the 5 metre? A decent effort, but it does go wide. It's going to stay at 17-0. Just coming now towards the last 2 minutes, but again, it was just from a slight bit of 50-50 ball lands into the hands of Long Beach, and it's just too easy. Miracosta obviously still down the player at that time. They're trying to defend on the back foot, and in the end, Long Beach just take advantage. That's a lovely wide pass there from number 9, Josiah Pua, who is no doubt a relative of Johnny Pua, who's coaching this fantastic Belmont Shore team here this weekend.
Great counter ruck there. And it's back on the side of Long Beach. Moxley, Pua, Gomez. And a lovely little step and goes through, and Gomez finds himself one-on-one, goes inside outside, and he deserves getting this try. That's fantastic bit of work by the Long Beach boys.
Deserved try for Gomez as well. He's been a part of many of the excellent bits of play from Long Beach and gets a try for himself. I actually was getting quite excited by Anglin Smith, the number 9 for Miracosta. He had a lovely run down that far edge, but just couldn't get support. And Long Beach with the turnover, bang, they're in the other half and they're gone. And Victor Gomez with a lovely left foot step to finish it off. Can he maybe add the extras here?
Nice follow through and good strike on the ball. And that is just about wide. And let's have a look at the replay here.
Yeah, it's excellent work. He just follows this pass, and that's maybe something for youngsters out there to really take a look at. You're never done in the play. Always talk about, or coach has said to me about the double touch. From your pass, can you be in support? If you are expecting a line break, be there on the shoulder. Really good awareness from Victor Gomez. That's how he scored his try.
And that was Kingston Mutu there with the offload. And not only does he have a fantastic offload in the locker, he's got one of the better rat tails that you'll see at this tournament.
Yes.
Tell you what.
As does this man, Moxley. He's gone.
That's the first time I think we've seen Moxley kind of put on the full jets there as he goes around too, and he says, I've been chilling for long enough. I'm going to put the foot down and get myself on a scoreboard.
He just looks like a guy who's having fun, isn't he? Few goose steps, few handoffs, and showed a bit of pace there.
There's decent braid levels, there's decent rat tail levels with this Long Beach team, isn't
Oh,
it?
you've got a rat tail like that, Ian, you've got to have a bit of pace. Question whether there was maybe a little bit of a knock-on originally, but just turns the corner and away he goes. A little hitch kick just to get himself away from that last defender. Oh, and the conversion just hits the post from Gomez, or sorry, the bar from Gomez. Long Beach, it's all about them in this first half.
27-0 Long Beach versus Miracosta, as the Long Beach boys, smiles on their faces, bring it into coach Peter Seo, who is of course a former USA 15s international and long-time Belmont Shore player. I'm sure he's going to be pretty happy with the boys, but also probably want to rein it in a little bit, tell them that we've got a lot more to do today.
Completely, Ian. I mean, what an excellent show out there today from Long Beach. I mean, I want to highlight number 11, Jackson. He has a fluid movement on the field that I can honestly tell you comes from both practice and just natural ability. He's able to hone in on his speed and his movement with his legs. He sprints so beautifully, so perfectly, straight up the middle, but he has that tracking ability to know when the defense is going to hit him and quickly maneuver his way through the feet. Ethan Moxley, we've talked about it before, and we'll talk about it again, number 13. This kid is an absolute beast of a prop out there. He can break through the defensive line and just make his way all the way to the front. Even with the assists needed from people, he is an absolute weapon on the pitch today.
Yeah, love that. Bit of chat, bit of calmness here, and you talk about the different type of players that we see out there. Some of them will glide, some of them are steppers, and some of them are just straight up powerhouses. And if you look at this Long Beach team here, they've got a few strong units, don't they, Isabella?
They really do have a few strong units. You know, I'm really excited to see how they bring this and they can do something else with it. I want to see the strategies that the opposing team right now is thinking up and coming up with, but honestly, this is a really good game of rugby.
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of damage control here for the Miracosta boys, but coach, they're trying to encourage, they're trying to say that we can still learn from this, we can still get something from this game.
Yeah, Ian was just listening to the points that Isabella was making, and it's just worth saying as well for Miracosta, plenty of guys in this team with very little rugby experience, and what you've mentioned, Ian, just about the experiences you can get, and sevens is harsh. You know, if you make an error, it can be incredibly costly, and you're really put under pressure with your skills, your one-on-one tackling. It's great learnings for all these guys out there, particularly for the boys from Miracosta.
It is indeed, that is. Dominic Becks gets us underway for Miracosta. And Noah Smith looks for a big bumper challenge on the head on Moxley, but he pushes him off. And there's our try scorer, tries to put one out the back to the danger man, Moxley. And again, We mentioned it. Bit of composure here from this Long Beach team, and when they have to, they throw on the step as it goes back to Moxley. He's chilling at this stage, isn't he? Doesn't want to spend any more energy. They got a few games to go as it goes out to Victor Gomez. Little drawn pass and pops it over the top. And I tell you what, could have got his hat trick there, but he gives one to his mate Kingston Mutu, and he's stoked to get that try, isn't he?
I think every Long Beach attacker is just smiling throughout that play. They were enjoying every minute of that, and it's a Long Beach effort that is with a lot of confidence. I just wish there was that confidence they had in that last game of yesterday against Cal. I mean, Cal are an exceptional side and had the power as well to really, unfortunately, not allow Long Beach to, just seeing that kick goes over, he gives it. What a kick from Gomez. But yeah, they're showing off their full box of tricks. Gomez and Moxley look like they're coming off now. They've earned their effort on the sideline, their rest. But even this little pass at the end, Ian, it's just everything's on the money.
Generous.
Potentially, I think that it just came off the hand of Miracosta, so I say play on. But as the sun now comes out in Oceanside, it's Long Beach who are shining.
You got to give a nod to that conversion there, don't you? Just as the sun was starting to crack out, he knocks one in from the 5-metre channel. He'll add that one to the highlight reel as well, won't he?
Oh, there's a highlight reel for sure for these boys in this game. Some great stuff.
Miracosta spot that there's no one at home, and ball goes to boot. A little bit of an ugly bounce. It's absolutely fine for that. Oh, the man who was on a double, and he gave a very generous pass. Jackson Cantelme finds himself on the ball again. That's Pua. That's our big man running the switch off the edge. And it's a one-on-one here. He shrugs him off. That's Ike Michele getting himself on a scoreboard. Love that run, the nice little switch off the edge as the Miracosta players were hunting across just against the grain, and he's a big strong man, so it's going to be hard to try clip him with that inside shoulder, isn't it, Will?
Yeah, it is. It's tough work now for Miracosta. I think for me, watching their defence, they're always on the back foot and they're just sliding across the field. If you're then Long Beach, you can just invite your attack onto them. There's no pressure that Miracosta are putting on the Long Beach attack. Just watch how they're always just almost walking backwards, trying to make sure that they don't get to the edge. Well, if you're on the back foot, it's so easy then as an attacker just to step off and go into the gap in the midfield. Just for Miracosta, these learnings of how they want to defend in this game of sevens, hopefully it's something they take away and learn from.
I think usually how I defend in that position, being the last man with the big man coming through, I'll just say your man.
Yeah,
you have him.
So there's a lot of that. Even if it's not the last man, I think there's a lot of that in the Miracosta team so far. But look, credit to them, they're still fighting.
Long Beach still playing with 7 up, leaving no one in behind, and we could see Bex there shaping to kick, having a look. Didn't work out for them last time, but again, that space is in behind. Just going up the guts here with some carries. Route 1 up the middle of the pitch for Miracosta as they try to get some yards against this stout Long Beach defence. One goes out the back, and now the ball does go drop down to the boot. That's Anglin Smith. He wants to get one back from Miracosta, and he's got some good skills. He gets one away basketball style. Brody Wilson with the ball now. And Long Beach looking to just challenge everything. They look like they have about 20-30 pounds on each one of the players, but that's the man who started it all with the kick through, Anglin Smith. And with 2 minutes 20 left in the game, there's some tired bodies out there, but there will be advantage. Are they going to go quick here, Will, or are they going to slow this down?
I think they're pretty gassed in, but trying to get it into the hands of number 9, Anglin Smith. He's certainly been the danger attacker from when Miracosta have had the ball, but I just wonder whether the big man's just feeling it a bit. They've only got just under 2 minutes to go. Can they get a try?
That's Alan Carter there. I thought he was going to have a big hard carry off the back fence, but slowed down into contact and a little bit of a hitch kick, and he goes around. That's our number 10.
What a bit of play.
That's Narisma there with the scrum hat. Fantastic work from him. Fair play. A little bit of a step. He sees the big man, and I tell you what, the big man can go through you, but if you've got speed, I'll get around you.
That's the thing of sevens, Ian, isn't it? It's a sport, it's a type of rugby that is still made for all different shapes and sizes, but that's a mismatch. Great work from Narisma to get away, see what's in front of him. Great try for Miracosta. They deserved that, particularly in the last minute. Conversion goes over as well, but he sees who's in front of him. And look, I was never the biggest, so therefore, out of probably pure fear, if I see someone bigger in front of me, just try and run round him. Back yourself on the gas. That's exactly what he's done, the number 10 for Miracosta. That's a fine bit of play.
The little double step. Michael Dublé out there, fair play. And I don't know if you noticed who was taking the conversion. That was Alan Carter, the big man.
Oh, slotted it. Too easy. And he knew, what I loved, he looked to the sideline as well to make sure that the lads had seen.
I think he put the arm right up in the air, Alan Shearer style, as if he just scored one at home for Newcastle. And 30 seconds left in the game. There'll be no hurry from Long Beach here to restart proceedings, but as I've said, that's Pua gets the ball going and they're just keen to play. Smooth running there. That's our number 14, Carmona, and with ease he gets himself on the scoreboard. Miracosta will be happy to get that one try and not be left with a 0 at the end of the game, but there's smiles on the faces of this Long Beach team and they deserve it. They've coasted through this game, and you know what they must be thinking after a performance like this? They're probably upset that we didn't see some of this at times yesterday.
Wow, they had such a tight game, and oh, what a conversion that is from the big man. And there, the bench of Long Beach love that one. Just before I was about to wrap it up, as you made that great point in, well, here's the replay of that final try. It's kind of summed it up. Miracosta on the back foot in defence, and when you're on the back foot, you're just inviting attackers on. Great try for Long Beach. What a conversion to finish things off. But you're so right in. There was that game against UCLA where they just went, I think they lost it 17 points to 14. It was right at the end. It was an unbelievable tackle from UCLA to prevent Long Beach scoring, and you just think if it had just gone the other way that day, they would have been in the top 4 and been playing for silverware. Instead, they're towards the bottom, and actually with the talent and execution they've shown today, really, you would have liked to have seen that playing for playoffs.
You know what, I've actually forgotten what happened yesterday after Cooper Coates has nailed that conversion. On both teams nailing conversions, smiles on their faces, and Isabella, this Long Beach team getting 48 points on the board. When things stick for them, they can really attack, can't they?
Completely, Ian. I mean, that was just a brilliant execution of play from Long Beach. But I will say, I got to commend Miracosta today for coming out here and playing and facing a team that does have a lot more technical expertise and a lot more physicality than them. They played as best as they could, and I was so impressed by that last final try there made from Miracosta. Great job to them. You know, at the end of the day, Long Beach, they have the ability to maintain this calmness in the face of anxiety, in the face of stress. We saw Miracosta really putting their scrappiness to the test right there against Long Beach, but you saw, I mean, everyone did, as they just slowed the plays down, and it was so intricate, so well done, and so well executed, and I'm really excited to see how Long Beach grows as the season continues on.
Yes, and with plenty of games to go, we're going to take a break here at field number 2. 20 minutes time coming up. Inferno versus Oceanside.
On the field, it takes trust, teamwork, and a fierce drive to win. That's the spirit of rugby, and it's the foundation of Falcon West Insurance. We've built our company culture and our unique Career Building Academy program on those very principles. We provide thousands of families and businesses with the best carriers and coverage. When you need an insurance partner you can trust, remember Falcon West, because when you're fiercely independent with a team backing you, you're free to succeed.
Anyone can be all they can be, but it takes more than just lifting weights, 12-mile rucks, push-ups, and deadlifts. It takes mental resilience, nutrition, spiritual well-being, and proper sleep. And it's all here in the most extensive human optimization project ever created. For 250 years, the Army has been mastering human potential. And now we're sharing what we know with the world. No fads, no fees, no influencing you. It's all facts, all lived results, all in one place. Because fragmented fitness doesn't work. This is All You, a series that explores the Army's approach to holistic health and fitness to help you be all you can be.
Welcome to the West Coast Sevens here in sunny San Diego, California. You are looking at pitch number 2 right now, where Oceanside, the local boys, are going up against Inferno Rugby. Both of these teams had a little bit of a challenging first day, suffering a few heavy defeats, but they also showed the talent that they have, getting some unreal tries on the board, especially from this Inferno team, who are down a couple of players through injury, aren't allowed as many subs. And if there's one to watch, Porter Kilgore, number 6, Gunnar Adams and Levi Godfrey, they've all been challenging every one of these teams up in the high echelons, and the orange jerseys look like they're ready to go. On Oceanside, lads to look out for, number 10, Max Racono. He is a local boy, been playing with the Coastal Dragons here in San Diego for a long time, and he's running out with Oceanside here today. His father, of course, a great club referee, Nick Racono, a real servant to the game here in San Diego, California. Inferno in orange and Oceanside in the black. I'm Ian Denham here with Will Hooley and Isabella. These two teams struggled yesterday, but the sun's shining now, first game of the day. What would they be looking to achieve here? Get a first win on the board for both teams?
You know what? That's what I'm hoping. I'm excited to see what's going to happen today. We got to watch Inferno yesterday in the last game. They did some amazing stuff. And just kind of see if they get to bring that out here today on the pitch.
Yeah, they struggled a little bit being down in numbers. But they're battlers. But we look at Oceanside here now. We mentioned Racono. We've got the first touch on the ball there. And ball goes through 2 passes. And that's Ragudo with the carry. They have numbers on the right-hand side and the short side, and they have a little bit of a sweep. Scrum half picks from the base, throws a little bit of a dummy. And Deacon Maeva, lovely, smooth try there. Just
Absolutely.
a pick around the fringe.
It really was. It really was. Oceanside putting up some points this morning on the board. You know, Oceanside is just showing their side right now of what it means to take the ball into well, not necessarily take it into contact, but to take it into the center and avoid that contact. And that was a clean kick.
Claps of encouragement from the Inferno bench. They've struggled this weekend, but the positivity amongst the group has been great. Always encouraging each other, trying not to drop the heads. And they'll be looking to get maybe a couple of tries on the board here today, a few good passages of play, and really see it as a learning exercise for this Inferno team as Oceanside get us underway with a lovely high-hanging restart. It's challenged in the air, but referee says it's knocked on, and it's going to be scrum down to Inferno.
You know, Inferno's gotten to do some pretty good things off of scrum in the past. I'm really interested to see how Oceanside is going to challenge them today and watch them grow as a team, because, I mean, if we don't know at home watching, Inferno was able to put themselves together really fast before this tournament and just come out here and play some excellent rugby.
It's so challenging being down on numbers, isn't it? You can look at this Oceanside team. They're a local team. We're in Oceanside, California. You can see up to 10 players on the bench ready to go. So they've been able to save their legs a little bit, and that's something that's not been afforded to this Inferno team. They played so many minutes, and fair play to these young athletes. That's Frew going there. Puts it in the 3-man scrum. They're going to get the ball in motion in their own 22. Oceanside only playing with a half sweeper, but as the try scorer now has dropped back to make sure he covers the backfield. Nice shoot out of the line from Oceanside, and a challenge at the breakdown in the ruck, and things are scrappy right now. And as they fold over to the left hand side, Inferno spot a little bit of a space down their left. That's Weston Kenny, has a little step and puts the boot to ball, but there's our try scorer who's been sitting at fullback chilling, but he picks up the ball now. Brings play up to the Inferno half for Oceanside. Skippy Doo over the top there. Doesn't go to hand, but they're offside anyway, so Oceanside are going to bring it back. They're chilling. They don't want to really go too quick. They look like they want to keep things organised, stick to their structure.
Ian, are you seeing them improve too much from yesterday on either side of the team?
I actually didn't. I wasn't fortunate enough to see this Oceanside team play, but I have seen a lot of these local players play in the past, and they're good natural ballers. In terms of the Inferno team, I've just been impressed with their consistency of effort through the whole tournament. Sometimes passes didn't go to hand, sometimes they're leaking tries, but the effort throughout has been fantastic. Referee packs us down. Frugon pops it in, and they're going to bounce to the right hand side, possibly a 2-on-1 the edge if he can fix him up, which he does, and ball goes down to the boot now. But they have a man at fullback. A pass back inside, and Oceanside are going to look to counter off that scramble D from the kick. They're just outside their own 22, and Inferno also opting not to drop a fullback, so no one in behind. So plenty of lads in the front line, but he's clipped in the air. Referee calls advantage. That's a tricky one. It was a high pass and he jumped for it. You're not allowed to take a player when he's in the air like that. So Rakono now up the left hand side, throws a fend. He's brought to the ground, but he's not held, so he gets back up on his feet. It's knocked on now. Inferno at the ball, and they're bundled into touch.
You know, for those watching at home, when you don't make your tackles in the exact right area to make them, you're exhausting a lot of energy. And we're seeing Inferno right now trying to make those hits, trying to make those tackles on Oceanside, but it's not coming to pass, ultimately allowing them to spill a little bit more energy than they need when they need to conserve it right now and use it to the best of their capabilities.
First line out of the game here, Frugon, who's been thrown it into the scrum, pops one into the line out here, and he regathers, and they get a clean one from that set piece. A little straighten from our 10, and they're really looking to kick in behind. That's 3 we've seen now, but all of them have been regathered. But they are putting pressure on that first initial breakdown off the scramble and catch. So number 6 there with a nice little fight through and offload. That's Maximus Main, who gets himself on the score sheet. And that's through work and support, really, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's the real important part about sevens, is recycling that players, using the energy. If we get a replay coming up here, you're going to see exactly how Oceanside was able to make those quick, clean moves and quick, clean gaps on Inferno. You know, we're struggling to just see Inferno maintain that level of stamina right now, going against a team that has a lot of subs to fill in for them. It's going to be a hard and tight game, but they're doing well.
Yeah, we can look at the replay here. It seems like Inferno's tactic is to have a little grubber through the ball, but Oceanside regather well. Inferno attack the breakdown, but that's a fantastic clean out there. And that's number 6, Gavin Dode, who just has a little step, fights through contact, and gets an offload away to Maximus Main.
Inferno is doing a very good job, at least trying to conserve their energy with those grubbers. It will gain them a little bit more time, but if they cannot make it to the ball, then sometimes it's not worth it.
Maxi Rakono switches play, and he puts it deep in the Inferno half, knowing that winning the territory battle is nearly half the game at this stage. That's number 2, Weston Kenny for Inferno. Looks to challenge on the outside, but decides against it. Goes back to middle of the pitch, and it's a little bit scrappy now. But Inferno do regather, and they have a little space down the right hand side, and this man can fly. Good speed, still on his feet, and gets a little pop back offload away. And now Inferno are flowing a little bit of a show and go, and they're just inside the 22 now, but the advantage is called. They just tried to pop it out of contact, and it's a knock on. But that's the balance, isn't it? They get 2 offloads that go to hand, try continue with it, and then the knock-on goes. Is there something to be said for getting into that 22 and then maybe being a little bit patient there?
You know, it is those moments of chaos where you're trying to just see how we can reset the ball, how we can get that line back up and set that, sometimes even if it doesn't make it to Cannon in the exact way that we want it to, just recovering it and putting it back into play. I think they did a good job there on the end. It was definitely a little bit scrappy, but hey, in moments like this, you got to do what you got to do. Inferno is putting up a fight, and Oceanside is just trying to exploit them around every corner that they can get, but so far, so good from both sides of the team.
Yes, of course, and as you look at the Oceanside team here getting their halftime team talk, got to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Falcon West. Off the field, you're still a winner. The Falcon West Academy helps athletes build careers. Learn more at falconwest.com/academy. Rugby players getting ready for the next career move. Check out Falcon West Academy, built just for you, with Group 4 launching in October. Insurance made easy since 1981. Join thousands of families and businesses who trust Falcon West. Visit falconwest.com today. And we're back here, and that is Josh Williams giving some advice to the Oceanside boys. He's been coaching here in San Diego for a long time. He brought the Carlsbad Thunder to a national 15s boys national championship, and he's been a real servant of the game. And his son, of course, is playing in the college tournament for Cal, Solomon Williams, who has won a few MVPs. He's represented the United States at under 20 level, so rugby really runs in the family there.
And it's awesome to get to see the ways in which all these families are connected. We have some workers out here today who have sons playing, and it is just so fun to see the way in which rugby has become not only a family household sport, but also become this amazing connection and community.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see the journey here. I was fortunate enough the first time I came to the States to coach Solomon and his brother Tobias Williams at a summer camp where they were just under 8s and under 10s, and now Solomon's doing his thing for Cal. Great to see as we get the game back underway and Inferno get the ball. And if there's someone to look out for Inferno, Levi Godfrey, number 8. He got a lovely try yesterday, and he's a commander, he's a bag of tricks, so maybe he will try restart things here for Inferno as they're 14 points down against Oceanside. Ball gets a pop over the top. We got one more, and is there some space on the edge? That's number 7 there, Gunnar Adams, just with a knock on, and ref slows it down. He says, I'm going to call you up for that, and we're going to pack it down to Oceanside. And at 14-0 up, they're not in any hurry to restart this game right now.
Definitely not, Ian. You know, right now I'd like to see some more ball movement from Inferno. When you are getting that exhaustion, when you are dealing with all that pressure and that stress, it could be really helpful right now to just break it down to the basics, run what they run in practice, and use the ball as movement of momentum in order to get some meters, gain some yardage. Yeah, we did see that yesterday from Inferno. They had a few direct carries. They picked around the fringe. As we just look there, that's 13. That's Emmanuel Arcontis. Goes around on the outside. He's got a bit of speed. I tell you what, I'm feeling for these Inferno defenders a little bit. As you look, it's just directly off the scrum. Just an easy one. The centre gets the ball put right on his outside shoulder there by Rakono. Straightens up and then just has a little channel hop to the right hand side. Doesn't even need to fend. Has the ball tucked at the left hand and goes under the sticks. It was a clean try. Great foot movement there from Oceanside. They are just bringing such this force of drive and power onto the pitch today. Maxi Rakono again. Puts it down the left-hand side this time. And they're really looking to win that territory battle, but this time it's sat up for the try score. And a little bit of pick around the fringe there from Ragudo. And the Inferno boys are trying to hold him up, but he gets his knee down, and it's a tackle now. And the Inferno boys skip out as Rakono throws that dummy, throws a little left-footed step, and gets himself just about a score now. He's kicked well, he's bossed things well, and now he gets himself on the score sheet. Maxi Rakono doing good things. Yeah, if we get to watch a replay there, he did some amazing footwork right in the forward. He's able to see that gap that Inferno is leading up as their defense is shifting over. Able to make a quick little fake there to the side. Good foot movement and then run it straight into the try zone. It's moments like this when you do have a team that has the time and has the effort. Watching forward here, just a quick grab, looks to offload it, and he does it and runs straight through. I think right now for Oceanside, especially when they do have a little bit more of a leadway, this gives them the opportunity to have a little bit more technique into the game, to think to themselves, how can we make something a little bit different? How can we move the ball in a different way and not just, get it out to the wings, but actually try to make a play through their defensive side? Yeah, you could talk about things in a different play there and adding variation to the game. That's probably what we see with Maxi Rakono there. He passed the ball a couple of times before when he had possession, so this time you could just see the player drifting off him, thinking that he's going to pass, and then throws a little dummy and carries. Great variation from the number 10 from Oceanside.
just as we say that as well. Inferno really looking to get themselves in the score sheet. Up the left-hand touchline, the offload gets thrown away. And we're back in the middle of the pitch now, and a lovely little out-the-back offload off the deck. The pop and Inferno, they're met in the middle of the pitch, but that's our man Levi Godfrey. He can't create, unlucky there. It's a turnover, and Oceanside have the ball, and they're skipping backwards to try get in spot, and Lagudo draws and passes. Big one goes up to the outside, and Oceanside put the foot down. That's Martin Tanguma. They've got a lot of lads with a bit of pace, don't they?
They definitely do. You know, watching Oceanside, I have to say I am impressed with one thing that they're doing. They know that Inferno is tired. So what they're doing is they're just shifting that ball as fast as they can, causing their defensive side to wear out and to be a little bit more loose and less collective and less together. And then when they get the opportunity to tire them out a little bit more, that's when they're making their explosive movements. That's when they're really putting the pressure onto the ball and running it all the way into the try zone. I mean, watching this replay here, they do that exactly, getting it straight off of the ruck, setting it up deep, making them run with them before they offload it, making them a little bit more tired, and then they get to the wing, who has completely been conserving energy throughout this entire thing, and he's able to make that sprint and score another try for Oceanside.
Yeah, fantastic example of a try off a turnover. Unfortunately, it was our man Levi Godfrey who lost the ball, but he's had a fantastic tournament so far this weekend. But Oceanside capitalising, getting 3 passes away off a turnover and getting in under the sticks. Inferno again find themselves in their own 22, and it's a shoot out of the line by Vaughan Ellis. He catches the man, but he does not bring him down, and Inferno managed to keep things alive. A little bit of a step, double step, and a pass back in, and they have a little bit of space here. Can he transfer it? Oh man, good shoot from our number 4, Kingsley Escobar.
That was some beautiful rugby right there for a minute. You know, it's hard when you get the momentum going, you get that excitement, but if that ball just does not make it to hand, then all of that work ends up kind of going into the trash a little bit. But that was some beautiful rugby technique happening from Inferno's side. They definitely still have some gas. I love to see a little bit of power behind it, exactly the player that you mentioned. Good foot movement, good tracking of the defensive line and knowing when to maintain the ball and when to offload it. He did a great job drawing in their defensive side and setting up for the wing, who was open on the Inferno.
Yeah, our referee there has a chat with the touch judge, and there's judged to be a little bit of a tip in the tackle, or a high tackle, we couldn't quite see. But Inferno again, the dummy is thrown, and that is a whirlwind dummy, right to left, inside out. But Oceanside are tracking back as well. Called for a high shot, and Inferno have an opportunity now to get themselves on the score sheet. Troy Palma carries, and again
they are pushing forward. That
might be a card now, just after continuous infringements. And with 2 seconds to go, 33-0. Inferno are just going to get one on the score sheet, finish off the game on a high note. The Oceanside boys look ready. It's tapped. The big man goes well chopped down, and the roll around, and he's judged to not being released in there. So Inferno are going to go again. They're knocking on the door here, trying to get one on the score sheet.
Ian,
and the big man goes again, gets an offload away. 1-2.
Amazing work. Ian, I wanted to ask a quick question. When you were watching that play, when Inferno was pushing up close on them, did you see a little bit of a dump tackle from number 9?
Yeah, I think I might have. I think the referee he's called a couple of tackle-based infringements recently. That's why we've seen the yellow, but I think it's no stress on this Inferno team. They just wanted to get one on the board at the end of the game, and fair play to both of these teams, especially Oceanside. And look at this. They look like a couple of big men, perhaps play a bit of 15s, and they said, don't worry, 5 metres out, we'll tap and go, and we'll get the score. And that's what they deserve. They deserve to get a few points on the board, and Oceanside can count themselves as having a decent performance out there, and a valiant one from Inferno.
100%. Inferno did a great job. They 100% deserved that try there at the end, pushing forward with those last couple of meters, putting some points on the board, making the total 33 Oceanside to 7 Inferno. this was some fun rugby, getting to come out here and see these teams play again. I think both teams are going to be walking away from this match having gained a little bit more of the game from each other and learning from it. Inferno, 100% learning just what it means like to play a team like Oceanside, and Oceanside also learning that, just because the team is getting gassed doesn't mean that they have something up their sleeve waiting.
Yeah, lovely show of respect there between the coaches, the staff, the players, all shaking hands. Great overhead shot of the pitches here at the West Coast Sevens in San Diego, California. Stay tuned. We're going to have more action coming up.
On the field, it takes trust, teamwork, and a fierce drive to win. That's the spirit of rugby, and it's the foundation of Falcon West Insurance. We've built our company culture and our unique career-building academy program on those very principles. We provide thousands of families and businesses with the best carriers and coverage. When you need an insurance partner you can trust, remember Falcon West, because when you're fiercely independent with a team backing you, you're free to succeed.
Anyone can be all they can be. But it takes more than just lifting weights, 12-mile rucks, push-ups, and deadlifts. It takes mental resilience, nutrition, spiritual well-being, and proper sleep. And it's all here in the most extensive human optimization project ever created. For 250 years, the Army has been mastering human potential. And now we're sharing what we know with the world. No fads, no fees, no influencing you. It's all facts, all lived results, all in one place. Because fragmented fitness doesn't work. This is All You, a series that explores the Army's approach to holistic health and fitness to help you be all you can be.
Well, welcome back here to Field 2 at the Oceanside Sports Complex. We have the second to last high school match of the day coming up. We have the Falcons, who will be coming on in the maroon and black, playing against Oceanside, who are in the black and white. Before we get into the teams, I just want to recognize a couple of entities. Firstly, we want to thank TVX Sports Video. TVX has been covering sports in San Diego and around the country for nearly 20 years, and they're committed to bringing you the best in live, local, and emerging sports. Smash the like button and hit subscribe to show your support for our official broadcast partner, TVX Sports Video. We also would like to recognize Falcon West. Off the field, you're still a winner. The Falcon West Academy helps athletes build careers. Learn more at falconwest.com/academy. I'm Jeremy Ognall. Sitting alongside me for this next match, I have Isabella Caron. Isabella, tell me what you're looking forward to in this matchup.
Oh, Jerry, I'm looking forward to so much today. I mean, we've got to watch the Falcons play earlier today, as well as Oceanside. Both two very good teams. You know, the competition at West Coast today has been extraordinary. The high school teams have completely blown everyone out of the water with the caliber of playing and rugby IQ that they're bringing to the pitch today. So I'm really excited to see what these boys are going to throw out here on the pitch. What about you?
Yeah, exactly the same. And as you said, I think the biggest thing we have to recognize is even though this is a battle for 7th and 8th place, these are two good teams. It's just the high school competition has been stacked from top to bottom. And as you know, Isabella, from playing, yourself, sevens can turn on a dime. So, a 2-day tournament like this, 1 or 2 drop balls, 1 or 2 missed tackles can be the difference between contending for a championship and in this case playing for 7th or 8th. But both good programs and really excited to see them do battle to end the tournament.
Completely agree, Jeremy. I mean, you're so right. What we've gotten to see on the pitch today has been nothing short of just absolute good and fun rugby. I come from Texas, and over there we just don't get to see a lot of high school teams. And I remember coming out here to West Coast Sevens first time and watching them play, and I mean, I pulled you aside and I had told you I don't think I've ever seen rugby like this, and I mean it. They have brought so much fire and drive to the pitch today. Everyone is playing with passion, and our finalist coming up later at 1:20 will be Cathedral Catholic versus Ombak, and you're going to get to see exactly just what kind of level these boys are playing at. We have a lot of college teams out here today, definitely looking out and scouting some possible and future USA Eagles here with us. And just getting this game started today, kind of going into it, Jeremy, is there anything, I mean, you're one of the directors here, is there anything you've noticed in the progression of high school specifically as West Coast Sevens has continued on?
Really good question. We had a small high school representation just over a year ago at the Olympic Training Center, but it really started to build this year. And the one conversation that I've had with you and I've had with, Will and Corbs and Dallin is if you look at the collegiate bracket and then the high school bracket, actually, the players seem to be much more focused on being brilliant, what I say, brilliant in the basics. Their catch pass is really good. Their communication is really good. Their commitment is really good. Obviously, they don't have the same level of physicality yet as the college guys, but their ability to execute, the level of coaching they're getting is really impressive. And like you said, you might not see much of this down in Waco. I think that's Texas, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you might not see a lot of that in Waco, but, with someone like you now representing this brand, I hope that we can get more high school rugby going in the Waco area. I know you'd love to be involved in it, whether it's from a coaching, playing, well, not playing because you're beyond that, but from a coaching or broadcast standpoint, I know you can bring a lot of value to that. And we just need to keep growing the high school game in this country.
I completely agree. I mean, we've gotten to talk a little about high school growing, but Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like one of the first years that we've been including women now within our championship matches and everything like that. Today we don't have any women out here playing, but in the past tournaments we have brought women into this equation. How has that also just leveled up the game of rugby?
Oh, absolute game changer. And you're right. Last year we didn't have any women's teams. Starting in LA just a month ago, we did. We had high school girls and we had collegiate women. Same thing in Stanford. We had high school girls and collegiate women. Unfortunately for this one, just purely because of conflicting schedules, we couldn't get the collegiate women. They actually have a qualifier this weekend, so they weren't able to attend. So this has just been high school boys and college men. But as we build to next year, I know the organizers intend to bring more women in from a collegiate standpoint, from a high school standpoint. And again, that only helps rugby grow in the country, and it only helps the quality of this competition.
It does. I mean, the competition out here today is fierce, exciting, and filled with passion. Now, Jeremy, you have such an extensive back history when it comes to rugby. Tell me, you got to tell me the truth, man. What's better, 15s or 7s?
Well, at my age and stage, which you were very nice not calling it out, Isabella, I'm still a 15s purist. I grew up with 15s. I'm still extremely passionate about it. I still follow it. I still coach it at all levels. But my love of 7s has grown over the last several years. I've been fortunate to coach alongside some great 7s coaches, to coach some phenomenal 7s players, win some championships. And a weekend like this is really hard to beat. Obviously, it's a very different experience of 15s. But, if you ask me to say which is top, it's 15s. But 7s has been closing the gap. And I love this tournament. I love being able to work alongside young talent like you and the rest of the crew we've had. And again, really excited for this matchup. I think we're getting ready for the officials to get into place to take us to the game. And here they come on right now. Isabel, I'll turn it back to you.
Oh, amazing work. Thank you so much for your commentary, Jeremy. We're just welcoming the boys onto the pitch today. Like we said, we have the Falcons versus Oceanside. Oceanside in the white and black, and then Falcons with the black and red. And we are going to be getting off the game here soon. We have seen some excellent rugby today on the pitch. We're competing right now for 7th and 8th place, seeing who is going to make the stand today, who is going to bring that drive, that fuel, that passion that is going to remind the viewers at home exactly what it means to be a rugby player here in the West Coast Sevens.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting. It's great for these guys. One of these teams is going to leave, feeling much better about themselves, right? It doesn't matter if it's 7th or 8th. If they can get a W here when they get in their cars or vans to head home, they're going to be very excited to have taken a W. So I expect a lot out of this contest. I think it's going to be very evenly contested, and I'm looking forward to the next 14-plus minutes with you.
I completely agree, as am I, Jeremy. And we're going to begin this game off here with the Falcons kicking to Oceanside. And the kick comes up short, but it's a good grab right there from Oceanside. And it looks like the ball is knocked on, moving passion back all the way over to the Falcons, where they are going to try and now gain possession and do a scrum. Jeremy, a lot just happened right here in a quick split second. What are you seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about it all weekend. Kickoffs here, restarts, as they talk about them, are key. That was a very well-placed restart. Went about 10.5 meters. Unfortunately, Oceanside weren't able to gather it. A little knock on there. So now we have an attacking scrum in a pretty good position here for the Falcons.
Completely. And coming in at number 9, Alex Vong, he will be feeding it into the scrum, and the ball pops right back out to the side, taking it into contact. Number 3, who pops it all the way out to the wing, number 15, Joe Ramono, who takes the ball down straight into contact. And it's a good setup there, but the ball just doesn't make it to hand on the Falcons players, as there's a little chaos all the way for Oceanside, and the ball goes into touch. But that was quite the hit, Jeremy.
Yeah, big collision there. I mean, great run on the side there by Oceanside. But what a cover tackle we had coming across there with number 7 for the Falcons. That looks like it's Shea Farkash, who really delivered a blow. And 15 got up, though. He's back in play, and here we go again.
And we're setting it back up with Oceanside maintaining possession of the ball. Number 7 taking it straight into contact, and no one is able to get him down. Jeremy, in moments like this in 7s, we want to conserve as much energy as possible. So when we're making those hits, they got to be in contact. And it doesn't seem to matter, because Oceanside makes it into the try zone, scoring up the first board 5-0.
Yeah, pretty simple rugby there. We'll see a replay here in a second, but pretty simple rugby by Oceanside. They showed really well with ball in hand. Good physicality at the contact there by Oceanside. Good support. Ball goes to ground. Good ruck. Defenders are a little bunched, and the halfback just goes around the side. Little dummy inside. Beautiful inside dummy. That was looks like that was Maeva, the halfback there, who puts it in, and the conversion is up and good. And all of a sudden, 4.5 in, it's 7-0 to Oceanside.
Great job for Oceanside. They are doing a great job starting off here with only 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half, and we are seeing some excellent rugby getting played with Oceanside turning over possession right now to the Falcons. Let's see what they could do with it. and it's a clean kick to the Falcons. But he just doesn't manage to grab that ball. Luckily, it was backwards, so they still maintain possession, spilling it all the way out, spreading it as thin as butter to the edges. But number 15 tries and fails to make a breakaway, but it doesn't matter because their teammates are right next to him to help set up that depth and that line. Oceanside's defense is really pushing forward here, trying to put that pressure on the Falcons, make them mess up, but it's not working because you know what? He is sprinting and he is running all the way up. Byway one, that is the Falcons going into the try zone, putting on some points there for their team. Great work.
Yeah, great work there. Number 7, it looks like it's David Choi. Duck Choi is the man who dots it down. All individual effort there down the right side. Unfortunately, it looks as though we've got it looks like an Oceanside player down getting some medical treatment. But, all credit there. A great bounce back from Falcons. They'd just gone down 7-0. But first phase, after the kickoff, down the side to Choi. And if you take a look at this, why don't you talk us through this, Isabella, for a second?
Yeah, we get managed possession of the ball right here, getting it out to the edges just like he should. He's aware that his player is right next to him. Good offload right there. They know that Oceanside's defense is extremely hard to break through, so they don't bother trying to go up the middle, but instead they're able to use that touch line and run all the way up the sidelines, not doing a fake into it and using their speed as their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. So tight contest. It's 7-5. We are going to take a minute here for the injury treatment. Hopefully this player's okay. The medical care, I have to say, these last couple of days has been absolutely phenomenal. Jill Ayers and her whole crew have done a great job, and we were talking about it earlier yesterday actually, that there's 3 medical staff on site today. There were 4 yesterday, and we discussed it and said, it's a much lighter schedule today, so 3 is probably sufficient. And that came back to bite me because I think we've had more people in the medical tent today than we did all of yesterday. So shame on me for calling that out. But again, great medical treatment. And as you know, Isabella, I don't know what injuries you've gone through in your career, but you want to be super careful with anything. This guy's not moving much on the ground, so they're going to really check him out before they even try and sit him up. And so we'll take a pause here for a second, and hopefully the Oceanside player can come back in. One thing I was going to say to you, just watching the first, about 4 minutes or so of this match, one thing that I think is differentiating these teams from maybe the Cathedral Catholic or the Ombaks of the world is that their ability for catch pass doesn't seem quite as crisp as the top teams. And that maybe is what differentiates whether you're playing for a championship or whether you're in the 7th or 8th place. The ability to move the ball, to run onto the ball hard, to run at angles, to look for space. And so hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that for the balance of this first half and into the second.
I completely agree, Jeremy. If the viewers at home got to watch with us some high school games that were happening earlier, you'll notice 100% that ball handling is such a key component here in 7s. We don't have the amount of people that we do in 15s. I'm going to take a pause really quick and clap for this player, and it looks like he's being moved off of the field, hoping and praying that everything is good with him. But continuing on, yes, we don't have a lot of players as we would on 15, so it's important to not use as much body movement to conserve that energy, but rather use a lot more movement with the ball. And when the ball doesn't go to hand, it gives the opposing team plenty of time to just put that pressure on them and cause for spillage and leakage of the ball, leading to turnovers, knock-ons, and, we've all seen it, losses.
Yeah. Quick thing here, if I could. Sorry to interject. I was just checking on the injured player. It looks like it was number 11, Remo Robertson. So I don't know if his family and parents are here, but just if they are watching on the broadcast, the medical team does have him. He was able to walk off under his own steam. He's in the medical tent, and so I'm sure he'll be getting the best possible care. So we hope that Remo recovers fast, and sorry that your competition's ended, but I'm sure you'll bounce back.
Of course. Jeremy, thank you so much for interrupting me and telling me that part because, rugby is such an intense sport, but we still love it and we're still going to play, and I'm sure his team will be happy for him. As Oceanside continues on pushing forward, great job taking it down to ground into contact. Oceanside tries to set up there more, trying to get her on the edge, spill it on out. But the Falcons are just putting that pressure on them, Jeremy. They're making them a little bit antsy and not giving them enough time to make proper movement with it.
Yeah, they're definitely putting pressure on them. I have to say the attack was pretty flat and pretty bunched and was much easier for the Falcons to defend. Little kick through hasn't worked out. The Falcons now have a turnover and an opportunity to strike. But then again, they're not called for not releasing there, and now it comes back to Oceanside. And while we say that, there is another Oceanside player down in the backfield just inside his 22. So you keep talking us through this one, Isabella, but we'll keep an eye on the injury too.
Of course. Thank you so much for pointing that out, Jeremy. And they are not releasing the ball. They are not going to ground. They need to make a decision here quick and fast in order to reset it. But Jeremy, that player did just pop up and fall back into line, so I think he is okay, because I am personally tired of seeing everybody in the injury tent today, and I want to see some more people coming off this pitch with some smiles on their faces. And I think Oceanside will do that so long as they can maintain possession of the ball. But you made a beautiful point earlier that the thing that's distinguishing the two teams is their ball handling moment. It takes a good rugby player in order to calm themselves down in the midst of this and make those contact, make that pass clean, smooth, and straight, not lobbing it, not throwing it off to the side, but making those good offloads.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very pressured game. 7 people on a large pitch, 7-minute halves. So, being comfortable, confident in the mental side of things is really important. And, calming your heart rate. Breathe. Use your box breathing. Use your breathing techniques to calm your heart rate down so you can control the ball. And I think what happens is we see a little bit of frantic play sometimes. Having said that, once again, we've got some good direct running right now from the Falcons, an opportunity to strike on the left edge if they move it well. And there's that man, Doug Choi, again going through. Second try under the post. And Falcons, after being one down, now put the second try on, Isabella.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was an excellent Rama play. I mean, we got to see right before that happened, they drew them out into the side, and you saw they kind of ran back into contact. And so I had to think for a second they were going to set up for something. So they drew in that defensive side, leaving their wings open, and he made a clean cut breakaway straight through the middle into the try zone. And the conversion is good, now putting the Falcons up 14-7.
Yeah, well called there. If you look at this again, I think this is the best passage of play for the Falcons. There was good, strong run there, sucked in a couple of defenders. And then this was the best sequence of passing we've seen. Really good pass catch. And then look at Doug Choi. He just turned it on. He just backed himself, tucked the ball under his arm in case he needed to defend, and goes in. As you said, conversion's good. And I think we just have the halftime whistle. And so that puts the Falcons up 14-7 with an exciting 7 minutes to come. So let me ask you a question, Isabella. I'm going to put you into the Oceanside coach's head right now. What do you think his message is to his team?
I would probably tell them that they need to put a little bit more sprinting onto the ball. Right now, like you said, they're not getting that depth and they're not getting that agility. They're doing a good side, at least when they do have possession of the ball. But right now, we got to just drop it back to the basics. Tell them to calm down, have a calm center of mind, and make just the basics of rugby. I mean, you come out here, you have the anxiety of what the placement is going to be, just eliminating that entirely, playing the game of rugby because it's fun and because we enjoy it, but mostly this is just coming back down to muscle memory and doing exactly what they've done in practice and executing it out. But definitely, for sure, making sure that they don't leave wide gaps open, because we are seeing a lot of wide gaps coming out here, Jeremy. Making sure you're closing those gaps, having a 2-on-1, and shifting on their defensive side, because right now it's a little bit weak and the Falcons are exploiting it.
Yeah, they've definitely exploited it a couple of times. Once, almost to the middle, definitely on the far side, on the right edge. And what you said is what happens late in the tournament, legs are tired, brains are tired. You do start to lose your defensive shape. You start to lose your spacing, and then that's when gaps emerge. And that's what Choi's been able to take advantage of, is 2 gaps, one on the edge and one more towards the middle. And I agree with what you said. I think Oceanside, firstly, they need a little bit more possession. They haven't had the ball enough, so they've got to retain the ball, slow themselves down a little bit, and just retain possession is absolutely key. But having said that, they're only down by 1 score. They've still got 7 minutes to go, and however tired they are, I'm sure the coach has said, look, you can do anything for 7 minutes, so just get after it.
You can't do anything for 7 minutes. I've been in the exact same positions where it's like, I don't know when this game is going to end, but it really is short when you think about it. But when you're on the pitch and you're running and you're in the heat and you're feeling the pressure, it is very hard to maintain a level head and continue on. But you know what? I have faith that the guys are going to pull it together and really show us some good rugby here coming up into the second half.
Absolutely. So we've got a few seconds. The ref's looking at his watch, and there goes the whistle. So they're kicking off. Oceanside going from right to left in the black.
And the kick looks good and clean, but it goes right on back, and they take advantage of the fact that they did not maintain possession of the ball. And Oceanside gets it, taking it down into contact, setting up for a clean ruck. The boys are trying to get in there. You can kind of see the pressure coming on the field right now, but they have the ball movement, but it's just not going to hand in the way that it needs to go to hand, Jeremy, in order for them to make these movements that they're trying. He tries to cut straight through the front. Oceanside breaking away, but it's a jersey swing tackle to the ground there from number 7, David. And the pressure is on. There's a lot of connection happening right now. Fumbling for the possession of the ball, but Oceanside is pushing through, trying to make it, gaining meter by meter. But they decide to set it back out, and the ball is not going to hand. Jeremy, what do you think could happen right now in order to clean this up this close to the try line?
Well, I think it was very frustrating for Oceanside there. They had some really good phases, some good continuity, really nice carry. It looked like, I think it was their number 7, Ragudo, had a really nice carry, getting them, within a few meters of a try line. But as you just said, once again, it's just that last pass that's just not going to hands. So they need to, again, slow themselves down a little bit, catch pass, and that's probably a score. Now they're having to play defense. Even though they're deep in Falcons 22, they're still defending.
Yep, and we know from past that it's hard to defend them. And the Falcons go for a grubber, and it gets turned back over to Oceanside, but it doesn't matter too much because they are putting the pressure on them today. Number 9 on Oceanside, Deacon Mava making the run, passing it over down to number 7, Nathaniel Regato, who tries to run it through, but the possession is turned back to the Falcons. And everyone looked a little bit like they were at a stop motion there, Jeremy, before he ran it in.
Yeah, once again, Oceanside had a good opportunity. They had a penalty for a high tackle, but they weren't able to retain possession a couple of phases later. And once again, Falcons, in possession, in control now, looking to just penetrate into Oceanside's half. And here's a good strike runner, good hard runner again there. That's that man, Duck Choi. Oh, he gets leveled. He takes 2 men to level him, but they still have possession out here on the right-hand side.
Yep, and we see that the players are going down. The hits are big. Number 7 on the Falcons, David looks down right now with a medic attending to him really quick. That was a very big dump tackle. Jeremy.
Yeah, big collision there. I mean, good hard carry. He got low. 2 guys got into him, and they did lift him up. I don't think it was anything illegal in that tackle. They didn't lift him and drop him, but he did get elevated slightly and then to ground. And he looks as though, I don't know if he's either had the wind knocked out of him. I think it's a little bit more than that. It looks as though he's got a bit of a head knock. So, again, the medical staff have come on with the coaching staff to take care of him. And, it's sad when you lose any player, but that guy was the man so far of this match. 2 great tries. And so the Falcons will have to regroup now down their best player.
Definitely, Jeremy. It is hard when one of your key players is being taken out of the equation right now, but we appreciate the work that he does, and we hope that he is not too badly injured. And I hope that Oceanside can maybe do something with this right now, but the ball goes into touch, now getting possession turned over to the Falcons.
Yeah, quick line out there. Good decision. Oh, my goodness.
A lot happened.
A lot happened in that play, Isabella. A lot happened. And actually, I think I was wrong, Isabella, on the number of. It wasn't Choi, I don't believe, who went down. They've actually got 2 number 7s, it looks like, on the Falcons team. So let me see. Sorry, it's Shea Farkash. I apologize for that. So there was 2 number 7. So wrong read. So I hope Shea Farkash is okay. They still have possession with that man, Duck Choi, who I thought was injured. He's actually playing, and that's good news for him, and it's good news for the Falcons, retaining possession just outside of Oceanside 22.
Exactly, and we have number 6 there from the Falcons, passing it on inward. They're trying to make a run straight up the middle, but Oceanside is putting the pressure on them, but no one is out there to cover. Number 3 on Falcons, Andrew Tachi, as he makes the try. Great work from the Falcons.
Yeah, once again, hard work on the left-hand side, opened up a little bit of space. They move the ball, really nicely to the right. If you look at this replay here, again, it just started, again, with nice, hands, a little bit of a step back inside, little loop play there, coming back, dart through, and then moving the ball out to the right-hand side to the big man running at pace. Not a great pass, but he's able to pick it up and then just do all the work himself to score in the corner.
Exactly. Now, Jeremy, looking at this a little bit more analytically, what can Oceanside do right now with 2 minutes left in the second half to really turn the tide of this game?
Well, I'm renowned for prognosticating and getting it wrong, Isabella. So I'm not going to say the result here, but the reality, Oceanside has to hold on to the ball. So the first thing they have to do is they have to get this kickoff. They have to get possession. They have to march down the field in unison, and they've got to do catch, pass, and hold on to the ball. Any turnover right now with 90 seconds left could be the death knell, I think, for this Oceanside team.
I think so, Jeremy, but let's see what they do with it. And the ball is not good. It looks like they're going to scrum right there.
No, he actually got called for playing the man off the ball. So Oceanside actually do have possession and a chance to go down the pitch.
Beautiful. Thank you for that clarification. And it's a fake right there up the middle, passing it over to number 8, Maximus Main, who shifts it on out, spreading it in to number 7, Nathaniel Regato, who runs it all the way. But it's the Falcons, also number 7. I believe that one is Troy, who makes the tackle, putting the ball down. And they try to contest the ruck right there, jackling for the ball before it pops out of the side in touch.
Yeah, once again, it's that number 7. It's that David Choi who did the work at the breakdown there. He made the tackle, then got up and did the work at the breakdown. Resulted, unfortunately, was a knock-on there for the Falcons, but they won't really care, even though they're going to be on the defensive side of this scrum. With 35 seconds left, they'll fancy their chances, hopefully defending this one. But even if they give up a score right now, they're up by 2 scores, and I'd feel very confident right now that we can probably chalk this up as a Falcons victory.
I think so, Jeremy, but I'm really hoping that Oceanside pulls something out here, a little underdog moment for the day. He's just taking it and holding it too long. It was making it way too easy for the defense to see that he was about to offload it, but it's still fighting. Oceanside putting up the meters, trying to inch it into the try zone, and it looks like, what happened? Did it go through?
Yeah, the try scored, the conversion is up and good, and it looks as though the referee, the clock is at 0, but the referee looks as though he's going to allow for this kickoff. So all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game, and Oceanside is kicking off. But they need to wait for the referee for one thing. It didn't go 10 meters, so it'll come back, and they'll have one more chance. So the Falcons just need to retain possession here and wrap up this victory. So let's see what happens with this last play.
This is the opportunity for Oceanside to show us what they've got here in the last couple of seconds, winning the tip-off, but it goes over to the Falcons instead. And it looks like the ball popped out there. This is stressful right now for Oceanside's team. We can see their benchmates sitting there cheering them on from the side, trying to see what can come of this scrum.
Yeah, this is interesting. A knock-on's been called off that kickoff against the Falcons, so it's a scrum down Oceanside ball. But again, we're deep into what I'll call extra time, and obviously the referee's whistle is the final whistle. But we've been at zeros for about 45 seconds already, and they do have one more opportunity and see if they can take advantage. But a great scrum by the Falcons, keeping pressure on them. But Oceanside still retains possession with a chance to strike.
And they are spilling it out the edges, not knowing what to do, but they look like they do as number 14 scrambles for the ball, and it's a knock-on to the Falcons, and that is game, Jeremy. Amazing show of rugby out here on the pitch. I know it must be hard for Oceanside being that close, but they did play a beautiful game today.
No, really evenly contested match. Again, we talked about the difference in quality maybe between the top teams and them, but both teams showed really well. Again, it's been a long, almost 2 days of rugby, and so I give credit to the players, I give credit to the coaches. It was a good finale. Oceanside did have a shot at the end, which surprised me. But they did have a shot at the end. Unfortunately, for their sake, they couldn't do it. But credit to the Falcons to battle through, hold this one 19-14. And just for everyone who's listening or watching the broadcast, the matches on pitch 2 are actually done for the day, and we will be moving over to pitch 1 to join Dallin, to join Will, to join Alex, to join Ian doing the commentary. And in about 10-12 minutes, we should be seeing the high school final between Cathedral Catholic and Ombak over on field 1. So I'm going to turn it back over to Isabella Corral to say goodbye. This is Jeremy. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. It has been a beautiful day out here at West Coast Sevens, finishing on Field 2. We have had some highs and we have had some lows, but all together we have had the best game of rugby. I'm so proud to be out here commentating with you, Jeremy, commentating with the rest of my co-hosts, and we're excited to join them on Field 1. Once again, reiterating, we will see the men's high school final at 1:20 today, Cathedral Catholic versus Omback. So excited to have you guys here. I hope you hop on the live stream over there. And this is Isabella Corral signing off for West Coast Sevens.
On the field, it takes trust, teamwork, and a fierce drive to win. That's the spirit of rugby, and it's the foundation of Falcon West Insurance. We've built our company culture and our unique Career Building Academy program on those very principles. We provide thousands of families and businesses with the best carriers and coverage. When you need an insurance partner you can trust, remember Falcon West, because when you're fiercely independent with a team backing you, you're free to succeed.
Anyone can be all they can be. But it takes more than just lifting weights, 12-mile rucks, push-ups, and deadlifts. It takes mental resilience, nutrition, spiritual well-being, and proper sleep. And it's all here in the most extensive human optimization project ever created. For 250 years, the Army has been mastering human potential. And now we're sharing what we know with the world. No fads, no fees, no influencing you. It's all facts, all lived results, all in one place. Because fragmented fitness doesn't work. This is All You, a series that explores the Army's approach to holistic health and fitness to help you be all you can be.